we start looking at all of the convergence of technology and technological trends and the changes that are going on in society, we often want to know, what's coming next. How do I predict the future? Well, when we start thinking about predicting the future, we kind of have to first understand what we believe in. In other words, how do we believe the future gets created? There's two differing views on this, kind of different ends of a spectrum. One is called technological determinism, and tech determinism says that human beings, as in our nature, build technology, sometimes to solve problems, sometimes to gain knowledge, and that the technology itself drives what future gets created. On the other end of the spectrum is social construction. Now, social construction says that everything we have, knowledge, processes, the way we live our lives, is created by agreement, by a social construct, by a social agreement between people that says this is how we're going to do things. So in one end you've got technological determinism, which is popularized by folks like Tom Friedman or Ray Kurzweil, and on the other end we've got social construction, which would be what a lot of folks in maybe Northern Europe might believe the way we build information systems, because we all agree they need to be built. So first you have to decide what you believe in. Okay, so let's take a little example. Let's say the average lifespan of somebody here in the US is about 85 years. And each year that person creates about 250 megabytes of new digital content. And I think that's kind of low myself, but that's the result of a university study. That would say that over someone's life, you're going to create 21 gigabytes of digital content, something very easily stored on a thumb drive. However, if we take a look at the number of hours per year, 8766, multiply that times 85, that gives us this 745 thousand hours in somebody's life. You can think of a Rent song at this point if you want. And if I started pointing a digital camera, a video camera at you from the time you were born to the time you die, each hour of reasonably compressed video takes up about 13 gig. That means that we could actually store your entire life on video in 10 petabytes. Now, what's a petabyte? Well, a petabyte is we think of megabytes and then gigabytes and terabytes and petabytes. So it's a very, very large hard drive. We don't really see a whole lot of commercial petabyte drives out yet, but sometime in the next decade we'll start seeing those things arrive. Now, other trends that we watch in predicting the future is the notion of education and lifelong learning. As we get as we become healthier and pay more attention to our environment and what we eat, we've been living longer. Increased longevity means the things that you learned in elementary school and high school really have limited applicability towards the end of your life. That increased longevity means that in order to survive or to thrive in a knowledge-powered economy, we have to keep learning. And we see, particularly among older adults, a love of learning that continues and has a competitive advantage for them throughout their lives. Combine this with the notion of virtual universities, the fact that virtual universities are growing by about 33% a year, and we start getting this idea about just-in-time training or just-in-time knowledge acquisition, and this is an important trend. There's also this notion of the end of the traditional career path. The average worker will have about between 12 and 15 jobs in a career, and the average is just a little over 3.5 years per job. The transferable skill sets that you learn on your job or in your education are key. It's what makes you a free agent. By 2011, the median work age in the age of a worker in the United States will be 45. That gives an idea of some of the challenges that human resource folks are going to face in the near future. And finally, we have potentially in many of our workplaces the notion of an intergenerational workforce, potentially 4 generations of people at work. Just imagine a project team that you're working on that has a 21-year-old on it, a 41-year-old, a 61-year-old, and maybe somebody in their late 70s, and the challenges of managing that project team. Okay, well, what do we think's coming? We see increasing external influence. There's a lot more regulatory stuff coming down the pipe. Storage, storage, storage. We see companies are having more and more storage, more and more concerns about storing things, and this becomes an important thing for us to think about. Cloud storage is key. Real-time business analytics says that we have the ability with computing power to give real-time or up-to-the-second analysis of business decisions in the workplace. Autonomic computing, computers that take care of themselves. Just-in-time systems, just-in-time training. That's what it's all about. We're going to see more location-aware applications, applications that adjust what they do based upon where the user is. We're going to see a continuing battle between security, privacy, and convenience. It'll be a problem. And we're going to have more and more examples of the virtual replacing the physical. It'll be much more common in the future for us to think in terms of virtual reality, virtual meetings, virtual teams than their physical counterparts. Our organizations are going to be a lot more adaptive. We're going to be a lot more focused on process partnering, multi-coast, multi-continent development deployment, and a global focus on global workforces, but a renewed interest in local skills. And finally, knowledge systems, how to capture knowledge so that our very migrant workforce doesn't hold us hostage by what's in their heads. All of this will be leading us to enable the real-time enterprise where we react to each other, we react to changes in the marketplace in real time. So that's the future. That's what we have to use, those tools to predict the future. And one of the things that we know is the future comes faster these days than it did back in the past. So having folks whose job it is to focus on future developments is absolutely critical.